If you'd like to make your NFL games a little more interesting, you've come to the right place. It's the Even Money Podcast with Ross Tucker and Steve Fezzik.
Yeah, Vegas, baby, Vegas. It is the Even Money Podcast, presented, of course, by DraftKings Sportsbook. Love those dudes. Please take advantage of all their deals, especially, by the way, those of you in Maryland. Open it up tomorrow. You can bet $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly. That would be amazing if you lived in Maryland and did that tomorrow. I'm Ross Tucker. I think most of you already know that. Former NFL player, 5 teams, 7 years, journeyman, awesome temp job in my 20s, at Ross Tucker NFL on social, all of them, by the way, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.com/Ross Tucker NFL, or even TikTok, where evidently I am blowing up thanks to Jack. I love it. I don't even realize I'm really on TikTok, and yet I am slowly but surely becoming a TikTok star. What a country. That's amazing. The star of this show, by the way, Steve Fezzik, at Fezzik Sports. Love the guy. Unbelievable combination of entertainment, comedy, and the greatest mathematician the betting world has ever known. I absolutely love it. You can always watch the show. More and more people watch it. YouTube.com/Ross Tucker NFL. If you ever want to see the highlight clips of this show or any of the other ones, Ross Tucker Football Podcast, College Draft, where we make the picks against the spread for some of the top college games, or Fantasy Feast Podcast, just follow at Ross Tucker Pod on Twitter or Instagram, or go to youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL. Steve is, of course, at Fezzik Sports, the only 2-time winner of the Super Bowl of professional football betting. Steve, I was getting a bunch of tweets about the Raiders-Broncos game after last week. You were very confident with your 3-unit play that my teaser wasn't going to work. So I like when I get those tweets, A, because I like when I'm right, but B, also, I like the interaction. I like that people remember the things that you say, Steve.
Yeah, and I liked the Broncos. And by the way, so we tape every Tuesday. I give you the plays that I like on Tuesday. Over the course of the week, I have clients that purchase my plays at pregame.com. It's the only place they purchase them. They get my very best plays, and sometimes the information comes out later in the week. Things change. If you want to get what I'm personally betting the most on, get it at pregame.com. And guess what? If you went there last week, you know what you got, Ross? You got the Denver Broncos. A 3-star best bet was what I gave out to my clients as my biggest investment. I'm not bitter, not at all.
Either way, it didn't work out for you.
Poorly coached. My goodness,
Steve, I'm doing pretty well this year, man. So far through week 11, I was up 4 units this past week. Thankfully for those teasers, they really helped. I'm up 19 units for the year. You are having a rare down year so far. You were down 5 units for the week, which puts you down 2 units for the year. As they say, Steve, a lot of football to be played, a lot of football to be bet on, a lot of football games to go. We'll start with Titans, Packers. Neither one of us had anything on that. I just leaned Tennessee, which was a good lean because they were laying 3. They won by 10. Browns, Bills. So we both had the Bills in a teaser. In fact, we had 3 teasers, Steve. I had the Bills in both mine. I had Bills -2 paired with the Raiders plus 8.5. That hit for me. I also had the Bills -2 with the Niners -2. That hit for me. So I was up 4 units on the teasers. You had the Bills and you took the Vikings up to 7.5. The Vikings got annihilated, Steve. The Bills was a good look. We were 3 for 3 with the Bills. That was a good teaser leg. The Vikings, not so much. We'll get to that game. Panthers, Ravens. I put 2 units on the Panthers getting 12. Boy, the Ravens couldn't do anything offensively. So the Panthers lost 13-3, but that was 2 units for me. Lions, Giants. I leaned Lions. I wimped out. Wish I would have done it. They won by 13 outright. Steve, you had the over in that game. You don't dive into the totals that often, but you liked the over on Giants and Lions, and you were right. Total was 46. The game went 31-18, went to 49.
Yeah, and the plenty of yards in that game as well. How the Giants weren't able to score more points is beyond me. Turnovers, 0-3 for the Giants. So Giants have been getting lucky all year long. They finally got unlucky in the game.
Bears Falcons was one of our best bets. We both liked the Bears getting 3.5. Very, very important. 3.5. 2 units for me, 2 units for Steve. It was a best bet. They lost by a field goal. I got a little bit nervous on that last Justin Fields pick when he overthrew Montgomery that we might get screwed and the Falcons might kick another field goal, but it came through, Steve. You got to get the half. You got to get the hook, Steve.
Yeah, and I don't know how many times I have to, tweet this out and argue with people on Twitter. The talking heads, the fake sports betting experts are lying to you. They're entertaining. Keep watching them. They're fun to watch. They have no idea what they're doing. So they want to tell you there's a right side or a wrong side in every game. It depends upon the price. Look no further. Go back to college football last week. USC beats UCLA by 3. That line was fluctuating between pick and 3 all week long. You see so many games like that literally come down to getting the best of the number. And here it is. If you bet the Bears game, you should have won. You should have bet them early in the week and gotten 3.5, or laid 2 on Atlanta late in the week, or you could have played Atlanta earlier in the year -2. So fiddles in the middle, and yet somehow people, the books throughout the U.S. are holding, Ross, almost 10%. A drunk baby picking sides loses at a 4.5% clip. The average American male, and I'm going to say it's male, but I think men are worse at this than women, because women oftentimes don't bet or they bet small. The men bet big and they lose big. They're losing at twice the rate of a drunk baby. That's embarrassing. Step up your game, people. Stop playing stupid things like these same game parlays. Okay, they're fun. Bet $2 on them. Stop betting anything substantial on those. No one wins against same game parlays.
We keep it moving, Steve. Let's get to Rams Saints. This one hurt. I had the Rams getting 3.5. I love getting 3.5. Stafford got hurt. Cost me any chance of winning that bet. They lost 27-20. Although the Rams defense, it's like, listen, you still got Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. How are you going to let Aaron Donald torch you? That hurt. I thought I had a pretty good chance on that one. Eagles, Colts, neither one of us touched. Commanders, Texans. I leaned Texans getting 3.5. You laid it, Steve. Texans getting the 3.5. They lose 23-10. They got dominated. They stink. They're terrible.
Boy, closing line value was a good week for me. I took the Rams, plus the points, and the Texans, and both those lines crashed downward. And yeah, completely. I think the Rams were the right side, and Stafford got hurt, but not the Texans. This happened when you're taking less than 7 on a team that's only going to win 2 games all year long. It kind of makes sense that you're going to lose some games, and Houston was the wrong side.
Raiders, Broncos. We kind of talked about it. You put 3 units on the Broncos. They were part of a teaser leg for me. Not exactly your masterpiece there, Steve. And the crazy thing is they switched play caller. Russell Wilson actually did some positive things in terms of throwing the football, but they still lost.
Bottom line is, I'm not saying I had the right side, but I was up 3 and driving at the 2-minute warning, and I lost.
That is incredible.
I was somewhat fortunate to be in that position, but you could argue it was a coin flip game that the Broncos probably should have won. If you had Denver -3, it was a terrible bet. At -2.5, it was fine, and it didn't work out for me.
It happens, Steve, just like it happens at the S&P 500 has been down around 23%. Mortgage rates are through the roof. Bloomberg, I saw, is predicting a 100% chance of a recession next year. What if you could get in something that actually gained value the last time inflation caused this much damage? You can. It's called Masterworks. Lets you invest in fine art from legends like Picasso and Banksy. Still don't know who Banksy is, but people are emailing me and tweeting me like Wikipedia's to Banksy. Doesn't matter. What does matter is, as recently as October, Masterworks produced legit results, selling a painting for a 21.5% net return to their investors. 6 of their 7 exits have given investors more than 20% net returns. You guys are smart. You bet. You listen to the show. You know, put in 10K, you get out 12K. Skip the wait list. Sign up with our special code MONEY. That's masterworks.com. Promo code MONEY to skip their wait list today. See important Regulation A disclosures at masterworks.com/CD. All right, we move on, Steve. Cowboys, Vikings. The Cowboys, I leaned Vikings because they were getting a point at home. They got annihilated. I mean, annihilated. Killed your teaser. Then our second best bet. This one hurt, Steve. I'm still upset about this one. You and I both had the Steelers getting 5 points. They had a healthy TJ Watt. They had Minkah Fitzpatrick was back. Cam Hayward. Kenny Pickett played pretty well. They scored 30 points. George Pickens played pretty well. The Bengals don't have Jamar Chase. And Joe Mixon gets hurt. The total for the game, Steve, was 41. We lost. Steelers lost 37-30. We lost by 2 points. I am convinced we were on the right side of that. 37 points, Steve?
If you would have told me the Steelers were going to score 30 points, can you imagine how big a bet I would have made on Pittsburgh +5, more CLV, closing line value down the drain? You know what? On the Vikings, you know what? I'm going to blame Pro Football Talk, PFT Ross, who had the Vikings ranked the #1 team in the NFL. I blocked them. I refuse to look at anything that they do. Everyone knows that the Vikings and the Giants are at best average-ish teams. Everyone knows that. I have dozens of professional football handicappers and bettors. We all know this. How is it that not one person in if you work for Pro Football Talk, you should quit today. You should walk in and say, you know what? I don't want to work for a company that's that incompetent that ranks the teams based upon their win-loss records. You really should. Otherwise, you know what? You just have no character or integrity.
Niners Cardinals last night. The Niners were laying 8. I teased them down to 2 with the Bills. That cashed for me. You leaned to the under, ended up hitting the over. So anyway, for the week, I'm up 4 units. You're down 5. For the season, I'm up 19. You are down 2. Our best bets, we got 14 wins, 12 losses. We got a 54% strike rate on our best bets. And we were 1-1 this past week. As a reminder, you can always see all of our numbers, everything that Grades does for us on our private Slack channel. Just become a patron, patreon.com/RT Media. We move on, Steve. The Bills are back in Detroit, taking on the Lions. The Bills are laying 10. The total's 53.5. The line was 9 an hour ago. People are putting a lot of money on the Buffalo Bills, Steve. What say you?
So I'm going to give credit to RJ. RJ Bell here has put me on, well, his information has put me on to the Lions here. I thought I was going to lean Bills. I said, you know what? Bills got out of town, epic snowstorm, can spend the whole Thanksgiving week without any distractions, practicing in Detroit, getting ready for the game. But no, RJ says they're going back to Buffalo, and all that snow and the whole schedule is going to be compromised. And then they got to fly back for a Thursday morning Thanksgiving Day game. That looks like the mother of all spots for a team that has an injured quarterback and disrupted practices for not 1 week, but 2. Detroit Lions +10, 3 stars, Ross.
Wow. You don't do that very often. Guess what? We're starting off this week with the best bet. I don't get it.
The best bet.
That was a little premature best bet elation there, Jack. But that was I didn't even get a chance to say like my reasoning. I don't understand the money coming in on the Bills. Look, I love the Bills, but I don't understand the money pouring in on them. 10? You're giving me Dan Campbell and the 3 wins in a row Detroit Lions. They always play their best, not always, but usually on Thanksgiving at home. I love the Lions. Plus 10. Dan Campbell wins this game. He guarantees he's the coach next year again. Guarantees it. I love it. I'll go with 2 units, so I don't go 3 units. 2 units, Lions, plus 10. Best bet, Jack.
The best bet.
You know, the truth is that does happen with younger people sometime like that. All right. Giants, Cowboys. The Giants are getting 9.5 in Dallas. Totals 44.5. I feel like you're going to tell me to wait till the number gets to 10 and then take the Giants as more money comes in on Dallas.
Yeah, and this is and by the way, when you start getting excited about making a bet, I always think to myself, don't spill the milk. Don't spill the milk. It works for me. And don't spill the milk on the Giants until you get 10 because you know it's going to get there. The problem I have is that the Giants are no good. My numbers make this game 10 now. So it's saying that there's no value. Having said that, there was a gifted sports handicapper that passed away named Dan Gordon, and he used to have a rule of 50. And what the rule of 50 was, if you add up the points that one team covered by and the points that another team did not cover by and equaled 50 or greater, so one team sucked and one team was great, you want to bet on the team that sucked because they're the team that typically bounces back. Ross, you probably in the locker room after a terrible defeat. It was probably a tough week, a focused week of practice, looking for redemption, and teams bring in extra effort. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I do, which is why I'm taking the Giants plus the 9.5, 2 units. Never heard of the rule of 50, but that is exactly my logic. The Giants aren't really that bad. The Cowboys aren't really that good. Daboll will have a good plan to muddy the game up to lower scoring game. They try to run the rock. They don't let the Cowboys play anything deep. They don't turn it over. Giants are going to lose the game, but they're going to cover the 9.5. 2 units on the Giants. Evidently, I am a subscriber to the rule of 50. What about the nightcap? Patriots getting 3 on the road against the Vikings.
So strong lean to the Patriots. Lots to like about the Patriots. They're the better team. I've got them a 1.5 better. I know Minnesota's a nice home field and it's a short week, but I got
Steve, there's no chance. There's no chance in my mind the Patriots are a better team. They cannot score.
They're the better team.
Wow. I disagree on that one.
You know, if you look just from let me make my case, just from a yards per play perspective, the Vikings are actually getting outgained from the line of scrimmage. Every time they snap the ball, they get like 5.4 yards and they give up 5.8, something like that. They've been outscored for the year. They're 8-2, but they've been outscored by their opponents despite being very fortunate. However, it's a great spot for the Vikings because just getting blasted, teams that get shut out or get annihilated are good bets typically. So I can see the spot's good for the Vikings with the short week at home. I'll strong lean Patriots +3.
Just to lean to the Vikings for me, the total in that game is 42.5. By the way, Thanksgiving night, Thanksgiving all day. Terrific day and night to crush some Labatt Blue Lights. Big fan of Labatt Blue Lights. Great Thanksgiving Day beer. No better way to watch all the games on Thanksgiving than with the pristine Canadian goodness of a cold Labatt Blue Light in your hand. Stock up. Be the MVP of your tailgate. Share a Labatt on game day with your crew. Always enjoy responsibly. Beer, Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. We move on to Sunday, Steve. The Dolphins are laying 13 at home against the terrible Texans who might make a quarterback change. The total's 46.
Yeah, and if you bet on the Texans, you were drinking extra Labatt Blues last weekend. I tell you what, I make this game 13. I've got nothing on it. This is a dog I don't want. I pass.
Total pass. Can't take it. Can't do it. I don't know what to expect from the new quarterback in Houston if they do that. And the Dolphins could run the score up on them. Ravens are in Jacksonville. The Ravens are laying 4 on the road. Total is 43.5.
Yeah, strong lean to Jacksonville. I think good spot. Lamar Jackson, dude always is under the weather. I mean, I hope everything's okay with him. And he didn't look 100% last week. Jacksonville is a team, they're 3-7, but they've actually outgained or outscored their opponents. Somehow they're 4 games below 500, though. I think it's going to be a close game. I just want more than 4. I'll lean to Jacksonville +4.
I'm taking them. Yeah, 2 units for the Jags +4 for me. I like the way they've been playing football as of late. Ravens, I don't know what happened against them, against Carolina, but they couldn't move the ball at all. Not at all. I mean, they're lucky that Baker Mayfield was throwing picks and Shi Smith fumbled. Jacksonville +4, 2 units. The Bucs are laying 3.5 in Cleveland. The total's 43, Steve.
All right, so money came in on Tampa about an hour ago-ish because I know that, it could have been, I'm not sure exactly when. Before I woke up, money came in on Tampa because it was 3, and now it's 3.5.
Yeah, it was 3 an hour ago.
Yeah, I don't get it. I think there's an influencer that's had success that gave out Tampa as one of his bets. Yeah, Tampa's the better team, but not by that much, only by 3 points. The weather's not going to be good in Cleveland. I don't think a Florida team is going to welcome playing in 40 degrees and possibly precipitation. I don't see what anyone's seeing on Tampa to make me want to support them. Bottom line is I will happily take +3.5 with the Browns, 2 units.
Whew. Man, last couple games, the Browns have been rough. I'll just lean Cleveland for the reasons you mentioned. I can't do it. I love getting 3.5, but I can't do it. I mean, they let anybody run on them. I mean, anybody can run all over this Cleveland defense. What about the Falcons in Washington against the Commanders? Total's 42. Falcons are getting 4 on the road.
Sure feels like Washington is a team that's undervalued based upon early quarterback play from Wentz that was not what we had hoped, and the team has responded so much to Heineke. So I agree with the line movement. This was 3, and it got bet up. I wish I had laid 3. I didn't. At 4, I'll pass.
I'm taking the Falcons. They play in every game. Every game they play in is like a field goal game. They either win by a field goal or they lose by a field goal because Arthur Smith can flat out coach. They're 5-6. They're an average team. That's what they do. So maybe they'll win the game. Probably not, but then they'll lose by a field goal. 2 units, Atlanta getting the 4. How about the Bengals, Steve? They are road favorites in Tennessee. They're favored by 1.5. The total's 42.5.
Yeah, and playoff revenge for the Tennessee Titans. The ill-timed 3 interceptions they threw to cost them the playoff game. I think the Titans are going to win a close game. So I'll lean Titans +1.5, but I really like the teaser. I'm going to play 2 teasers, 6-pointers. I'm going to take the Titans. I'll play them with Carolina, tease Carolina up, and I will tease the Titans to the Philadelphia Eagles -1, such that Eagles just have to win the game, but the Titans will be my Titans central core of my teasers, both of those for 2 units.
So, okay, so you did 2 of them there.
Yes.
I'm with you. I love the Titans as a teaser, and I actually have them paired with Carolina as well. Tennessee +7.5. Carolina against Denver +8.5. So that's a teaser best bet.
The best bet.
Then we get the Bears and the Jets. Jets might make a quarterback change, Steve, and the Bears have a banged-up quarterback in Justin Fields. Bears are getting 4.5. Total's 42. How can you even bet this game not knowing who the quarterback is for either team?
Because the line's going to move and you want to get in front of it. So I think if you're going to bet this game, I'm confident Fields is going to play. I would take the Bears. I'll do a strong lean to the Bears +4.5. This, I tell you, the Bears have been a dead nut over team. And I think that stops here because you know what? The Jets are a dead nut under team. This total's too high at 42. I'm going to go under 42 for 2 units with an injured quarterback for the Bears.
Hold on a second, Steve. So it's 40.5 on DraftKings right now.
Ooh.
40.5 is the total on DraftKings.
Me bad. You know what? That literally moved right now at 7:56. So it's 7:50, and this is great. This shows how professional sports bettors bet. Under 42 is a really good bet, and under 40.5 is absolute garbage. Now, how can that be the case? Because
21-20.
5% of the time, the game is going to land on exactly 41. So I just lost my probability of winning. Let's say it was 55%. It just went to less than 50%, all in a nanosecond. I'm not even going to lean under 40.5. The game's going to land 41 exactly, Ross. I pass 21-20.
I'll lean to the Bears getting the 4.5. Broncos Panthers, we kind of discussed. The Broncos are laying 2.5 on the road. The total is 35, which is why I feel so good about teasing the Panthers. Total's only 35. Broncos can't score. Panthers defense is good. Taking the Panthers up to 8.5 gives them even more value. We got that best bet with the Titans. Anything else on this game, Steve?
Yeah, I'm thinking about betting the draw in this game. Oh, no, that's the World Cup. But if I was going to bet a draw, I'm not sure anybody has to win this game. But yeah, just the teaser.
Raiders are getting 3.5 on the road in Seattle. Total's 47.5.
So I have Seattle much, much better than the Raiders. So I hate laying 3.5 so much. Strong lean Seattle minus 3.5.
I agree with everything you just said. I also have a strong lean to getting rid of some of these cable TV contracts. Thankfully, Sling is the most valuable option when it comes to finding your favorite channels with the best deal for sports, news, and entertainment. And honestly, if you listen to this show, and you all do, I'm sure you know all about NFL Red Zone. Well, you can watch every touchdown live every Sunday afternoon with NFL Red Zone on Sling. Limited time. Get Sling Blue and add on Sports Extra with NFL Red Zone for half off your first month. So it's regular 46, now only 23. You get the best deal on Red Zones. You can catch all the touchdowns at the lowest price with Sling TV. Visit sling.com/DraftKings to sign up today. All right. We've got the Chargers laying 4.5 in Arizona. The total's 47.5.
So this line surprises me. This line was 3.5 before the Mexico City game. Well, things couldn't have gone much worse than they went for Arizona last night. How this line only adjusted by 1 point. Arizona's a dead team walking now. Kingsbury is he going to survive the year, Ross?
Going to survive the rest of this year. I don't know what they'll do in the offseason.
Yes. Yeah, it's true. The year's almost over. So bottom line is this line should be 6. I hate laying points in the NFL. Strong lean Chargers minus 4.5.
I would agree. Strong lean to the Chargers. I'm not laying 4.5. Don't even know who the quarterback will be for the Cardinals. Rams are getting 14.5 points against the Chiefs. The total is 44. 14.5, Steve.
Yeah, and if Stafford can't go, if Stafford went, I would make this game 13. Without him, my name escapes me. The third string quarterback is
Bryce Perkins, Wolford.
Yeah, but I don't think Wolford can play. So if it's Perkins, I actually would make it 17. And I don't think Stafford's going to play. I think the Rams realize it's all over for the year. I'd actually lean Kansas City in this game.
New Orleans is getting 9 in San Francisco. The total is 43.
So we've hit it. I've got nothing on this game, but we've hit a tipping point in the NFC. I'm going to be the first to say it. The Niners are the best team in the NFC. Let me repeat that. The Niners, 6-4, clearly the best team in the NFC. Now, they're not the favorite because their path is so much worse in the playoffs. This is a team I don't want to step in front of. I lean Niners.
So I don't understand it. Everybody's going Niners crazy after last night. The week before against the Chargers had nobody. Nobody. No Mike Williams, no Keenan Allen, nobody. And still we're leading the Niners that whole game. I don't understand this. To me, it feels like a 1 week reaction to the Niners. I don't get it. I think they're pretty good, but I don't think they're as good as everybody else saying. If you want to go goo goo gaga over somebody, how about go goo goo gaga over the Cowboys, who just massacred the Vikings on the road? It's a lot more impressive than being the Cardinals in Mexico City. Anyway.
If you take out the monsoon game in Chicago and the Trey Lance game plays, the Niners statistically are a juggernaut that just didn't score enough in the red zone against the Chargers. You know, the end of that game, Ross, sometimes it's just Plinko. So it's 2nd and goal from the 2. And, you know, Plinko, the game of the Price is Right, where
yeah.
Does it land in Niners by 3, 6, or 10? It will land it on 6, so they didn't cover. But the Plinko ball really should have landed on 10 at the end of the game.
I had San Francisco as a teaser leg an hour ago when they were laying 8, but now that they're laying 9, I'm not doing it. So I've got nothing on this game. We'll move on to the Packers-Eagles Sunday night football. Eagles are laying 7. Total is 46. You teased the Eagles down to -1 earlier, Steve. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to tease the Eagles down to -1 and pair them with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It'll be a Keystone State teaser. Steelers are getting 2.5 against the Colts on Monday Night Football. I'll take the Steelers up to 8.5. And with the Eagles, I'm taking them down to 1. They just basically have to win the game against the Packers. Anything else on Packers-Eagles for you, Steve?
I like where you're going. In fact, I'm gonna take your idea. I'm gonna originate. We're gonna call this the Keystone State Labatt Blue teaser of the Galaxy, and we're going with it. 2 units, best bet.
The best bet.
Anything else on Steelers-Colts? We both have them Steelers teased up to 8.5. Total is a low 39. I love long teasers, but I also love teasing teams up, Steve, the lower the total is.
The lower the teaser, the better the game would be. So think about the ultimate. Imagine you could tease a World Cup game and catch 6.5 goals. You'd be pretty good. You'd even have covered with Iran. So yes, whenever the total drops below 40, those long teasers become just gold, pure gold that you absolutely want to really invest in.
He is at Fezzik Sports. I'm at Ross Tucker NFL. We are at Ross Tucker Pod. And if you want to see all of these picks from this show in black and white, go to patreon.com/RTmedia. Become a Tuckhead. If you want all of Steve's best bets later on in the week, as more information comes out, check out Steve at pregame.com and only at pregame.com. Good luck, everybody. Hope you guys win some money.
Thanks for listening to the Even Money Podcast. Make sure to also subscribe to the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, the Fantasy Feast, Business of Sports, and the College Draft. All available at Apple Podcasts, rosstucker.com, or wherever podcasts can be found.